Day 3 is over at the Australian Open, and there's only one big story everyone's talking about. It is, of course, the teenage sensation João Fonseca from Brazil defeating Rublev in his first Grand Slam victory. We're going to be talking about that and everything else.
That's right, and there is only one place to start on day 3, and we're starting at the end of day 3. It was the main event. It was the one they put at the end because they knew it was going to be an absolute firecracker. And João Fonseca, yes, remember the name because he is here to stay, that's for sure. The 18-year-old destroyed Andrei Rublev. Straight sets. It was 7-6, 6-3, 7-6. And I don't know what to say. I mean, if you watched the match at home, if you didn't watch the match, then we're going to tell you how it went because he was incredible. For, like no nerves for somebody stepping out on the biggest court you could possibly step out onto to just come onto the court and play with no nerves, full aggression, to turn it on in the tie-break, not take a step back. I mean, and then to get the crowd going, everything was going his way. The crowd were on his side, and Rublev had no chance to win in this match.
Yes, exactly that. Fonseca defeats Rublev 7-6, 6-3, 7-6 at the Australian Open. The 18-year-old qualifier in his first slam match. Not only was he outstanding, he was hypnotising. Possibly the greatest slam debut of all time. Everyone's getting a bit carried away maybe with that. But certainly, what a player he is. If we rewind a few weeks ago, I selected him as my wild card for the year who was outside the top 100. I could have gone bigger. I think I could have put him inside my top 10. That is how good João Fonseca is. What I didn't realise about him was his power. I knew he was a powerful player. I knew he was good on all of the surfaces, but I didn't realise to what extent. And I think it was shown... it was very evident in a match when you play a forehand master in Andrei Rublev who loves to slap the ball around. Yeah. And when you are doing better than what Rublev can even reach, then that shows you're special. At 18 years old, who I don't think Rublev was that bad. I know some people are saying he needs to take a break from tennis now, and he's not in the right. He's not in a right mindset to be playing, and he's not reaching the heights we know he can. Maybe he's not at his best, but still, I thought he played very well. He played some good points. He was very close to getting back into that tie break in the third set. It was close even in the first one to a level. But Fonseca had just nerves of steel, and considering Fonseca was up in that tie break to then be pegged back, you'd expect him just to crumble from that moment, but he didn't. And I think this is what shows him to be a little bit different to some of the other young players. And I don't want to get too carried away, but maybe we are seeing the missing piece of the puzzle to the new Big Three.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of people. The hype is there. Everyone's jumping on the bandwagon. Everyone's getting carried away. But I think understandably so, though. I don't think it's come without good reason. Like the performance was nothing short of like impeccable. Like you don't come onto a court and play someone in the top 10 and take the match to them the way that he did and barely falter throughout the whole match. He had a couple of wobbles. I mean, Rublev didn't really have a chance to get into the match. Yes, he had some small opportunities. Yes, he broke him once in the match, but that's it. I mean, if you looked at the stats for the match, Fonseca hit 51 winners. I mean, that's just unheard of from somebody entering their first ever slam match.
In a straight set match.
In a straight set match. Rublev hit 33 winners. That's still a lot. And he still hit more winners than unforced errors, which showed he did play quite well. But in some rallies, I just thought the agility of him, Rublev would have won points against some other players, but he kept the rally going somehow and then got his own forehand off. I mean, this is one thing I tweeted out. I heard them talking about on the broadcast, so I had to put a tweet out. his average forehand speed was 134 kilometers an hour in the first set. He got to the tiebreak, it went up to 145 kilometers an hour average, which means he just came to win. He didn't come to play safe. He knew his ability, and he was only gonna go out on his shield. I thought that is bravery, especially against someone like Rublev, who, like you said, he hits the ball so hard himself. You've got to really be brave. And this is another one I'm not sure if you're aware of. Fastest forehand winner of the tournament, Fonseca, 181 kilometers an hour, and it's above Mpechi Pericard and Alcaraz.
No, I wasn't aware of this, but I was aware of his second serve stats. I don't know if you've got any of them, but some of them were pretty good as well. His speed on the second serve at times was very high. And I think that just is testament to him as a player and the hard work he's put in sort of this off season and beyond, because we knew who he was last year. He's then played the next gen finals and did amazingly well and just carried that on. And I think from the start of the year, I did send you a tweet. His stats is phenomenal. He's not dropped a set. I think it's 9 wins, 19 sets won. And that includes, obviously, all of the qualifying, winning a challenger before. So what a start to 2025 for Fonseca.
Yeah, it looks like, based upon all of these results here, you have to be inside the top 10 to even take him to a tiebreak, which is worrying for the rest of the tour, to be honest. Everybody else gets breadsticks, bagels, 3s and 4s. We've got a 5 in there as well. But Rublev got him to a tiebreak and then got absolutely battered in the tiebreak, 7-1 in the first one. And I think Rublev was getting better, but maybe it was Fonseca getting a bit tighter and seeing the end in sight. You could understand that he would maybe get a little bit more nervous. But he was nervous, but he still went for his shots, and they came off, and the crowd loved it. And there was one person in the crowd, I don't know, it was some lady, that every time that he did a great shot, it sounded like this screech was like, every time Fonseca hit a winner. I mean, it happened 55 times, so I was noticing it. I was going to do a montage of all of these screams that kept coming from the crowd. It was something else.
Yeah, he does give me some Federer vibes with the forehand, the way he can just crush it at times. Bastian Fakan said this was a Federer Wimbledon 2001 moment, and Nadal Miami 2004, and Alcaraz US Open 2021. It might take a couple of years for things to entirely click, but tonight was João Fonseca removing every ounce of doubt that they will. Certainly, he is that guy. He is now the first teenager to defeat an ATP top 10 in straight sets at a Grand Slam since Rublev did it to Dimitrov. So it's strange how the tennis gods work. But we've just said a few things there. His serve speed, his forehand speed, his mental resilience. There isn't a weakness already. We're seeing an overall package. We're seeing a player who can compete for Grand Slams. A bit like we saw with Alcaraz, a bit like we've seen with Sinner later on. We thought maybe Rune could be in that conversation. He has faltered slightly despite winning last night in 5. But Fonseca, I'm very encouraged by, and I hope he can have a fantastic year this year, continue in this same way. There's no expectation on him to win anything big. Of course, that would be a bonus. I think this year is just sussing out the tour, getting used to playing different players in different places, in different conditions. And then from there, build on that. And I think from that next season, he will be someone who can go deep in the slams, who can rival the Sinners and Alcarazes and Medvedevs and Zverevs.
Yeah, it's a lot of weight on the shoulders. You've got to be so careful not to overhype somebody to the point where I think we should though. I think in this British,
situation, no, Ben, listen, he's that
screwed.
Good. We should hype him up a bit.
Yeah, we should hype him, but if he was British, I feel that type of performance would come at a detriment. The media would be everywhere. It would. I don't know if Brazil is exactly the same way. Maybe it is. But I think in Britain they hype you up so much, but as soon as you put a foot wrong, then they're right on your case. And that's the problem that we have in Britain, is the media are very toxic and they can work against you as much as they can work for you. They're only after the money at the end of the day. They want the clicks. I'm hoping that Fonseca, and this is another point that I'll bring to the table, is I think that he is maybe the first person now, because he's 18 years old, we're going to start seeing more people come through who are more complete players early on. I know that Alcaraz, we saw him come through, thought, wow, such a young age, so complete. I think João Fonseca looks more complete as an earlier age maybe than Alcaraz. I mean, this is just the natural progression of generations of sports, though. You've seen it in UFC as well. When that started, it was just people who could box or kickbox and people who could only do like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Now, the young people coming through do everything well. And that's the evolution of a sport. And I think that you get this in all sports, and we're seeing that with João Fonseca right now.
Yeah, it's I don't know about the Alcaraz comment, because I think he was very accomplished and complete of a player. But with Sinner, it took him a lot longer to get going. He's like more the Jack Draper,
old school,
the route.
Yeah, more old school style.
It was gradual
growth
on the tour to get slightly better year
I like
on year,
that, though.
build up his strength. Draper is trying to mirror that same Yannick Sinner textbook. With
Agreed.
Fonseca, it seems like a ready-made package at 18. I don't know what more. Like, for example, a coach sits down with him. I'm not sure where they're going to target. I think, honestly, it's just go out and play. Keep doing what you're doing and get some experience. And that's where we're at with João Fonseca. Fantastic performance.
Yeah.
Who's he going to be playing next, Ben?
Very good question. Let me just... I believe it is Lorenzo Sonego. That's right.
Yeah.
They said it in the post-match interview. And he was very quick to say, because they were obviously quick to pose him some questions, like just to try and get a bit more hype, trying to get him to hype himself up as well. One of the questions that she said to him, which I liked the question because it allowed him to give a more honest answer. She said to him, how much in Brazil would it cost to buy the talent that you have? And he just simply said, like the words of Roger Federer, he said, there's like talent's nothing without hard work. He said, and I put in so much hard work, and now you're seeing the hard work of me and my team on the court today, which it's exactly right. He is a hard worker. You can tell. Like, he's put all the hours in the gym, all the hours in on the practice courts, and that's why he's that good.
You simply don't get that good without practicing. It's clear as day. And the way he hits the ball, the only concern I'll have is his injuries. He is going to be prone to injury at 18, with your body still developing and forming, to be physically exerting himself like the way he does. His style is very, I can't think of the right word, like combative,
explosive
on his body. Yeah, I think injuries may be a concern for Fonseca, maybe more so than the likes of a Yannick Sinner. But let's look at, just quickly on Sonego. I know we just touched on him. That's going to be his next match. Well done to Sonego. And maybe the point of the tournament. I don't know if you saw it. Did you see the Sonego point?
No, I've not seen this one.
If you just type it in Twitter, you can have a look while I'm speaking about it. But yeah,
right,
really
no
good
problem.
one against Stan Wawrinka, of all people, at the Australian Open. I did predict Stan, and he did lose.
Yeah,
but
same.
fantastic. And there's a few videos going around with Italian commentary to the Sonego shot. He's been lobbed, kind of thing. He's run back, flicked it past Stan at the net. Astonishing shot. Very, very good.
Wow.
But I do feel he's going to have his work cut out when it comes to playing João Fonseca in the next one. But it's funny because he's going to have to probably do something special of that level just to be able to get close to him.
Well,
so it's good
they
practice.
were saying, well, I believe they played recently and Fonseca beat him as well, which is not a good sign for Sonego coming into the match. But that shot, incredible. I mean, he's not even looking. And he's hit a passing shot cross court against Stan. And I think that will be in competition. I saw an equally good winner. I don't know if you saw that one. Boetic van der Zandschulp against Alex de Minaur. A tweener passing shot cross court against de Minaur at the net. Incredible. Type that one in as well. Have a look at that. I mean, both of those. I mean, we're getting some shots of the tournament. Monfils as well. He's done a few in his match against Mpechi Pedicard. But we're not going to go there next. We're going to go to somebody who, I've got winning the tournament, and he started this tournament in a bit of a... I woke up this morning,
You had a few people who were struggling.
2 sets to 1 down to Samrej, the 418 in the world tie. The tie number 1, I have to say, but still... Number 418 in the world. And I was like, what is he doing? Why is he losing 2 sets to 1? He came through in the end in 5, and he was in very good spirits, though. I do like a Medvedev interview in a slam, especially when the match hasn't quite gone his way. And in this one, he said, he said in that post-match run, 1.5 hours on court just isn't enough. So I thought I'd make it a 3-hour one. I was like, fair enough. And he thought he'd destroy the net camera as well during losing that 3rd set. I mean, I don't know if you saw that one.
Yeah,
he
I did.
Absolutely tore the camera apart.
Yeah,
Insane.
due to the copyright issues, they've been showing on the Australian Open TV like the Wii characters of all the players. And there is a video of the Wii character of Medvedev just smashing at the net. And it's very comical. So go check that out if you've not seen it. I do find it all a bit bizarre that they're having to use these animations. But when you have moments like this, it is funny. You said a funny quote, but that's not my funniest one. There is a better one. Get that one up. He said, if he plays like this every match, his life can be good. Money, girls, casino, whatever. He was shocked. And the whole tennis world was. Fair play to Samrej. Fantastic performance. I didn't know who he was. I didn't think he was going to get close in a set. Medvedev probably underestimated him. And if he could continue in that way, he's got a good future in the sport. I'm sure he'll be very pleased with how he played. But Medvedev woke up when he realised, oh my God, I'm going to be losing to someone nobody knows about.
Yeah, I had to do a little bit of homework. I just was going online trying to Google Samrej, trying to find out a bit more about him. And I couldn't really find out more than the fact he was the tie number 1. He had a wild card into the event, and then I'm trying to find out how did he get a wild card in? If you're number 400 or something in the world, there must be a reason why he got it. I mean, if you know, put in the comment section, but I couldn't find anything yet. I mean, been so much tennis going on, work going on. I'm interested because I don't really understand the wild card entry.
I'm just looking at some of the matches he's played and the people he's lost to, like Billy Harris. He lost easily to Diallo.
That's what Medvedev said. He said, I've watched it. He's lost bizarre. 2-2 in a challenger a week ago.
Yeah, he said, that's what another funny thing is. I've watched some of his matches. He's never played like this before. Thought I was planned and expected. I was not expecting this guy to turn up. Very bizarre. But it's what makes sport great, the unexpected. We all love a good story like this, so really pleased that Medvedev did get tested, and it gave you a bit of a scare, just like Katie Bolter did, and Raducanu. Both of the... Maybe we've got to speak about the women next then, because on the last one, I know in the office we didn't speak about the women enough. Let's speak about them now.
Just this bit, just before, it is dangerous, but Daniel last year made the final and played 4 5-setters on the route to the final. So maybe it's a good start. He needs a 5-setter just to get him going, just get the cobwebs off. So I'm hoping that he just eases his way through the draw. I mean, he doesn't get tired. 3 hours is nothing for Daniel. So anyway, yeah, Raducanu. And let's go on to Raducanu. I'm sure you're very happy that she made it through. Nice straight sets win. Really simple, wasn't it? Tell us about what happened in this one.
Well, it's strange because my last bit of Australian Open last night was this Raducanu match. So it was straight sets, but elongated. It was quite a long 2 sets, well over 2 hours, both going to the tie break. And I watched most of the match. I'd say 80% or probably more. Yeah, I then woke up to watch Fonseca. So I had a sleep in between watching Raducanu and Fonseca. Of course, 2 different disciplines, men's and the women's game. Raducanu serving, if you compare that to that of Fonseca, is completely different. It was just like watching a complete different sport. Raducanu, however, and I'm going to give her some positive feedback here, did extremely well to get through this match because her serving was abysmal. I think she hit 9 double faults in the first set, 15 for the total match. They were on big moments. I think she did it on break points at times.
Yeah, break points.
Alexandrova did not fill herself with much praise either. She was struggling with her serve and constantly was making unforced errors. I don't have the stats, but Alexandrova, the amount of unforced errors and times she just smacked the ball into the net was astonishing to me. So it wasn't the highest level of match, but there was moments of brilliance from both players, and that's what made it quite fascinating. There was times when Raducanu hit some fantastic winners down the line. She threatened Alexandrova when she was getting pushed. So really good defensive display from Emma. And it was a real mixed bag performance. It was still positive because she was able to get through it. And I think in the past, when Raducanu's had these matches where the quality has not been necessarily there, she's struggling with a part of her game, she always seems to lose them ones. But she was able to get through a very tough match. And the way I look at it is the next one is a clean slate. She can reset, and the level is there for her to produce good tennis. So if she can wipe that one away, improve her serving, stay a little bit more focused, and have a better tactical display, then she can go far this tournament because her actual game's not that bad at all. I think it's at a good level.
Well, that's the thing that Tim Henman was saying. He tried to take the serving away from the rest of the performance because he said coming into this she's actually been suffering with a bit of a back injury, and that might be the reason she might not have been
boring, Ben. No, it is getting boring now.
Yeah, but you're not listening. She might not have been practicing her serve so she doesn't aggravate the back. So that may be why it's a bit rusty. That it might get better during the tournament. Hopefully it doesn't get any worse. I mean, the rest of her game, the fact she won in straight sets and served 15 double faults means the rest of her game must be doing all right. That's the one positive takeaway for Emma Raducanu.
Okay.
I mean, Alexandrova, for me, every time she got a break, she gave a break straight back. I mean, you can't do that. If you're expecting to win a match, and she was out in front in the first set, threw it away. It was one of those matches that it was anybody's to win, and Raducanu did well to win it.
Right, so I listened to you in full, and in essence, Raducanu's performance wasn't as good as it can be because of an injury.
Maybe because of not practice, not because of the injury. That's why. That's why
you don't think the back injury hampered her?
And not the ground shots and the rest of the match. I think the serving.
Can you get how it's getting boring though? Because it's like it comes to a stage where you can't have an entire career where there's a different injury which is preventing you to reach the heights you want to go.
Well, she still won the match.
But it's consistent in the fact that, I'm unable to do this because of my wrist. I'm unable to do this because of my ankle. I'm unable to do this because of my back.
Well, she hasn't said that.
Muscle group.
She hasn't said any of that, though. Yeah, but she hasn't mentioned it. That's the
But you're
difference.
mentioning it.
Yeah, I'm mentioning it. That's different.
Yeah. Yeah,
but if she comes out and starts talking
that's frustrating, because it's not just you. I'm not targeting you. I'm saying as a general consensus of tennis fans, what we see online, what we see on articles and news stories, it's constant. Oh yeah, well this is that because of an injury, and she has herself mentioned. I don't know about this particular one. 70% of the time, if not more, she's talked about different injuries and different things. Of course, she has had some injuries. She had some surgeries last year, but it gets to a point where I'm not interested anymore about constant injuries. Every player on the tour has constant niggles here and there. Are you telling me that being a professional athlete, you're not going into tournaments with a bit of a sore ankle or a bit of a sore this? It's normal. Yeah. You just don't have to keep bringing it up as, I was unable to do my serve today because of this. I was unable to do this today because of that. For me, it's boring.
She didn't bring it up. I'm bringing it up.
She may not have, but she has done in the past. And her fans and everyone will always say it. Like yourself. You've brought it up, the back, she couldn't do the back because of the serve. I'm bored of listening to that narrative.
Well, that's like saying you've got to hit your best serves, but you can't give a reason to why you hit 15 double faults. She didn't say that was the reason she hit 15 double faults. But that could be a reason.
Every player, there's so many different matches where a player may not be able to reach their potential in a certain part of their game. Say their movement's a bit compromised because they've got a sore hip. You don't come out and say, well, I did
Well,
win the
mate,
game, but I wasn't quite
I'm
good
sorry,
here because my
but
hip was
this is
sore."
coming from somebody who's literally been speaking about the most injured player probably in tennis, Rafael Nadal, for the past 5 years. And whenever he can't serve, there's a problem with something on his body. So let's have a little bit of fairness if somebody else can't serve due to maybe an injury. She's not talking about it. There's always talk around Rafa and why he can't serve and he's hitting double faults. So let's move on.
But I don't think he makes the same level of excuses, or his fans are not constantly making them.
No, but he has to address it all the time because there's so much highlighted because he's such a big figure in the sport. She has won a slam, so she has a lot of unwanted attention that she probably doesn't want. Yes, it comes with rewards of off-court sponsorship, but it also comes with a lot of media scrutiny as well. So you have to answer a lot of questions that other players don't. You go to a press room for Raducanu, there's probably one person in it. She goes to one, it's full. That's the difference. So
right, let's move on to the next one. Let us know in the comment section, what do you think about Emma Raducanu and your thoughts? So here, Emma Raducanu is going to be playing Anisimova, the now new brunette. And they are very good friends, as you can see here. The next story, though, is Katie Boulter, someone you've got going all the way to the final. Alex de Minaur was playing at the same time. After his match, he was asked on court about Katie Boulter, his new fiancée. And I think he was a bit worried because she was losing. So he quickly ran off the court, went to go and watch her in that final thing, and she won at the end in that third set. It was very tight, 7-5. Against someone who is not in the best of form in Marino. A very winnable match. Yeah. You've got her going all the way to the final. Do you have some regrets there, Ben? Is the British bias getting a little bit too intense with you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just the way it played out at the time. There are some parts of me thinking, did you go a bit too crazy there? But she's playing Kudermetova next. Another match which is winnable. If she can get through everyone in a 3-set match, I'm going to keep cheering her on. She's a Brit. And I like the fact that she's in Australia. She's got the support of the crowd. Alex de Minaur comes and watches her, gets the crowd going as well for her. There's a good energy around her. And I like her. And like you say, with Raducanu, sometimes there can be a little bit of negativity from the media. I think it's all positive around Katie Boulter, and I like the fact that she embraces it all. She doesn't moan about, I don't get as much publicity as Raducanu. She just gets on, plays her tennis. She's the British #1 for a reason, because she plays the best tennis, and that's why. So she's through to the second round. Let's go. Let's get to round 3.
Yeah, she also doesn't moan about injuries constantly as well, so that does help her cause.
Next up, we're talking about injuries and people who don't play that often, but somebody who's back with the new coach is Jelena Rybakina, and she defeated 16-year-old Australian wildcard Emerson Jones, the juniors world #1, 6-1, 6-1 in 53 minutes to reach the second round. And one thing in this one, she got asked after the match, do you not feel a bit unfair serving 4 aces in a row against a 16-year-old? I mean, it's a bit nuts, isn't it? 16-year-old come up against her.
It's like watching at your local tennis club when you've got a really good, promising kid coming through, but a big server just thundering serves against them. It just felt unfair. Rybakina, though, you've got to do what you got to do, and it was a very professional performance from her. Jones, I'm sure, will learn a lot from it and develop.
Yeah,
she's only 16. Give her a few more years, and I'm sure she can use this experience to fuel some change and growth in her own personal game. But I'm just pleased Rybakina is moving in through the draw. And who does she have next? Is it another tough one?
I'm glad you asked that question. She just played a 16-year-old. She now plays a 17-year-old in the next round, and it's my girl, Iva Jovic. She went through not just a nice struggling performance, 6-2, 6-1. What a performance from Iva Jovic against Nuria Perezas Diaz. And her 4th top 100 win, a new career high of 171. And yeah, she'll face Rybakina in the next round. I'm excited now due to that performance. Before I thought, oh, she may be like one break a set, that type of thing. No, that's her second win at a slam as well. She beat Magda Linette at the US Open. Now she's done this one here. Can she do it? Can she beat Rybakina?
It's crazy that Jovic gets a wild card in, then wins her first match, probably getting more points now than Polina Kudermetova, who's had to just go crazy for the last few weeks just to be moving up through the rankings. And we're going to be on a level playing field, most likely, just because Jovic won her first
won't
match.
Be that close. She's got like...
I think there's a lot of points at stake for a slam. But I do think she is a good player. I think it's a good pick from yourself. And that is a really, really confident performance. I think if she can run Rybakina close, she'll be pleased with that, like taking a set or something like that. But I don't feel like she can beat Rybakina.
I feel like the serve is just going to be something different she's not experienced before. Yeah. That's the problem. You played against Parizas Diaz, and then you're going to see all 6'1" of Rybakina down the other end, like firing these absolute... She's probably the best server on the women's tour. Yeah. I mean, if not top 2 or 3, yeah, it's going to be really tough. I'll be cheering her on. Just like you were probably cheering on somebody who didn't moan about their injury either. It is Jasmine Paolini. She got through. Absolutely brilliant to see the smile back on the court. Another Italian doing well. And a nice confident performance. A bagel in the first set. I mean, that's somebody who's completely at home on a tennis court right now. She's playing incredible stuff. Didn't know much about the opponent, Wei, but yeah, she just dispatched her with ease.
Yeah, it's a strange career Jasmine Paolini's had, where she couldn't really buy a win on a Grand Slam level. All of a sudden, 2024 come about, and she was a world beater. Ended the year, 4th in the world or something.
Yep.
I have her well inside my top 10 again. I know you've admitted her. You're not a big Paolini fan. Maybe a bit negative with the Italians, that Djokovic love you've got, but with Paolini, you know what you're going to get with her now, and I think this is the benchmark level. You're always going to get a lot of effort, a lot of fight, a lot of movement, and not always the most power, but she will stifle opposition. She's technically a very good player and a great tactician on the court. You put all that together, and you're gonna do well. That plus the fact that her draw, I think, is very nice at the Australian Open. Definitely got a chance to go far. Yeah.
The one thing that worried me coming into that first match was obviously she was seen training with like some tape on her knee, which she, for some reason, removed from her knee. I don't think she wanted it to be seen that she had this thing on her knee while she was practicing, because obviously it gets in the media. Then she gets asked at press, all that type of thing. So that one thing I was thinking is, like, hopefully her movement isn't going to be like hampered, because she relies on it so heavily. She's so quick around the court. She gets everything back. It wasn't hampered, which was brilliant. I'm really happy that she's playing her best tennis, because she could be on collision course with Rybakina, and we know when those two meet, it's always an entertaining one. She said here, well, it was said from her after the match, last year was unexpected. It was amazing, but it's a new year. Happy to be back. Before last year, I never won a match in Melbourne. The first match last year gave me so much confidence. Great to be back. Love the tournament, love the city, and love the people. And they love her as well, I bet.
She also went with a visor for the first time. I don't know if you noticed that, and it lasted a few games, and then she had to throw it off. She was like, I'm not going with that. So I'm not sure if we're going to see the visor for the next game. Something to look out for if you're a big tennis fan. Just one tweet. I don't think you've even got it, but I'll just read it out anyway.
Go on.
It's about British tennis, and
it
leads to, obviously, Cam Norrie, who went out.
Yes.
But has British tennis never looked as good as it is right now, Ben? It's the first time ever that 6 British players have won through to the second round of the Australian Open.
Is
it
exciting.
In the best hands it's ever been, British tennis?
Quite possibly, actually. I mean, when we had Murray, it was just Murray, really. But now we've got a nice blend. We've got some on the women, some on the men's, youngsters coming through. It's promising. I mean, maybe we're taking a leaf out the Italian book. They've got plenty coming through.
Which the bias. Listen, for the people who aren't British listening, I will stick up for you guys because the bias from Ben's British side is unbelievable. How can you say that we're in a great place with British tennis? Of course, it's good that we've got 6 players coming through, but these 6 players coming through who have won these matches in the opening rounds, there's a few good ones in there. You've got Draper, Katie Bolter, Raducanu on the fringes. Aside from that,
Fernley.
mediocre.
No.
There's a lot of mediocrity. Fernley, sorry, put him in there.
I'm not including Norrie or Evans.
Well, Norrie's out.
Yeah, I'm not
Evans
including these
there.
people.
The other two is what? Burridge. Can't think of the last one.
I know. This is bad. I can't think of it, but anyway.
I don't know. I'm not sure if it is in a great place. I think it was better when we had the likes of Murray who can go very far and win something. I know we've got Draper. Fernley is a bit of a project at the moment, and Bolter I do like too, but it's not. I don't know. I don't think it's as exciting. I definitely wouldn't compare it to the Italian model when you've got so many players who can go on and win a Grand Slam or go far in a Slam. You've got Paolini on the women's who's shown it. Berrettini, when he gets back up, he's already shown he can get to finals of Slams. Sinner doing what he's doing. It's completely different.
I think that's your Italian bias coming through because it's really Sinner and Paolini, Berrettini in decline. You've got Musetti. Musetti never really lived
quality.
Not really. Well, it goes deep in a Slam. So you're making things up as well. Draper just got to the semi-final of the US Open. Raducanu won the US Open. We got Fernley coming through. He's only really just breaking out on the tour, and he looks exciting. You're even touting him to maybe be a top 10 in maybe a couple of years' time.
Yeah, agreed.
This is an exciting time. Katie Bolter's at her highest ranking we've ever seen from her, and could be knocking on the door of the top 10 if she keeps going. I think it's a great place right now, British tennis.
Okay, well, let us know in the comment section, guys, what you think, because me and Ben, we can bang our heads against the wall for many times. I love your enthusiasm and confidence and patriotism. I can never say the word.
That's it.
For British tennis, and it is admirable in that regard. And I don't want you to lose that, but I will call you out for certain things. For me, I think there is a big element of bias, very BBC Ben, but I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say on that as well. Moving on to the next story.
Yeah, I know that we touched on Daniil Medvedev, so I'd like to just obviously go back to the men's again if we can. Daniil Medvedev, he got through in 5. It was a bit of a touch and go. His opponent in the next round, who we need to talk about as well, because it's Lerner Tien. He wins in the main draw at the Australian Open. It was 5 sets as well, so he'll be meeting Daniil Medvedev in round 2. Both have played a 5-set match, but I'm just happy for him that he got a win under his belt. Obviously, it's not as convincing as João Fonseca, not as tougher opponent either, but a win's a win, and I'm just happy that he's made it through to round 2. And now the real test. How does he do against Medvedev?
I'm sure he'll get some confidence as well for seeing Samrej push Medvedev all the way to 5.
Yeah, maybe.
So let's see what happens with that one. I'm not going to call any more Medvedev matches after seeing that first one. Anything's possible.
Well, it's a win-win for me next because I want Lerner Tien to go through. If he beats Medvedev, it's arguably better than Fonseca beating Rublev. And if he doesn't, then Rublev just keeps on. Medvedev keeps going through the tournament, and I need him to win it. So either way, I'm going to be happy on a winner there. Monfils, come on. Have GTL done it again? Probably not. We can't take credit for this. We spoke to Gal Monfils, obviously, at the UTS. Such a fun guy to speak to. And we
also spoke to Rublev as well.
Yeah, and Holger Rune. and Alex de Minaur. But can't take credit for all the losses as well. The fact that he's beaten Mpechi Pericard in 5 sets, he's 38. I keep saying it, and I know he's probably sick of everyone just bringing up his age all the time. But this kid was what? I think he said he was 21 years younger than him, and he said he started playing tennis 21 years ago. So it's like he was just being born, and Monfils was just stepping out onto the court, and he took it to him. A fellow Frenchman, absolutely incredible. What more can you say about Gael Monfils these days, apart from just happy to see him still playing?
It's just a great honour to keep watching him doing it week in, week out. I think losing to Djokovic not too long ago. You lost to Djokovic. And what tournament was that?
That was just the one just before. I can't remember. Adelaide, was it? Or
Adelaide.
Brisbane.
It happens. He struggles against Novak Djokovic. Despite that, he's hardly lost a match. I don't think he has he? He's won all of the others, apart from the Djokovic one. He's turning back the clock. Is 6 wins in a row for the first time since 2023. I love the moment after the match where both of them were on the bikes together, just having a chat. We know he's a very friendly guy. He's always got time for us and speaking to us sort of when the cameras aren't there as well. There isn't much more to say apart from just there's no expectation. If he's to lose comfortably in the next one, it is what it is. He's always going to have fans. He's already proven so much in his career. There's nothing left for him to prove. He's never been at the level to win a Grand Slam, and that's not going to change. But what he is a package of excitement and entertainment and being a humble, nice guy. So I'm very pleased for him, and I would like to see him keep going on.
Yeah, I mean, he did. The fact that, like it says here, he had two match points in the third set, and then went on to lose 2 tie breaks in the third and fourth, to then come back and win the fifth. I mean, sort of unheard of. People at this age, him and Djokovic are just their bodies are on just a different planet. I don't know how that they keep playing and stay injury free, but long may it continue. So I don't know if there's any others that you want to finish up on, or we just have a quick brief overlook of some of the other results, and then we'll wrap it up, I think. Yeah,
there's a few you can go through. So if you just bring up the results, I'll speak about some. Here, Rune getting through in a tough match. Doesn't fill me with confidence for him. The Fritz one is a no-brainer, nothing to talk about. Garin, I knew he was going to win.
Good call.
But it's unfortunate that I did have a bet with a few others and they lost. They let me down. But the Garin one, I was confident that could happen. Nothing really left nothing really left to speak about on the men's as such. I think we spoke about a lot of them big ones.
Yeah, Shapo went through there. Poprin going out is a bit of a shock. I didn't expect that.
That surprised me. Yeah, that surprised me. Poprin. He had such a good year last year. Do you think he might have a bit of a lull? Moutet's tough though. He can turn up.
Especially, I think he likes playing in enemy territory as well. And you could see he was sort of riling the crowd up.
He's a foil.
Yeah, really, really. I mean, that was a perfect scenario for him, to be honest. Somebody who, like,
Moutet will want to play someone who's in their hometown, definitely. Kasatkina, she won her match and then withdrew from the tournament.
Yeah, really. I mean, very disappointed with Kasatkina. Did she play? I didn't think she played. But
Tomova.
Oh, Kasatkina. Sorry, I thought it was Kalinskaya. Apologies. Yeah, Kalinskaya withdrew from the tournament, not Kasatkina.
Oh, sorry, right? Apologies.
Yeah. That's what I thought you said. That's what I mean. 2 Russians beginning with K. Yeah, Kalinskaya withdrew.
Kalinskaya, withdrew. Didn't play Birol.
Yeah, I had her go in, I think, to the semis or something crazy because she got to the quarters last year. Obviously, she's still suffering from whatever happened the week before. Hopefully she comes back strong. Really exciting player.
I think she's just been like, it's not worth playing. I'm just going to pull out and watch Yannick Sinner. He'll get all the prize money.
That's it. Just go spend it. And last person I just want to speak about, just give her a quick shout
last
out.
2. I've got, there's a few actually.
There's 2 here. These 2.
Yeah. And there's one above in a second. The American one.
Well done on Jabeur. I mean, happy to see her back to winning ways again. I think we both called her to win this, didn't we? Or did you put Callum?
Yeah, I had a Jabeur as well.
All right, brilliant. So Ons Jabeur through. She's got a good draw. She could go potentially quarters or something. Sakari, you called it. There you go. Sakari out. I really love Osorio Solana though, so I'm not mad at that. She had a funny incident.
I don't think it matters though, Ben. I don't think it mattered who you put there. Sakari is a mental block. It's serious because she's a good tennis player, Sakari, but she just has consistently lost now in first rounds of slams and second rounds. Abysmal. It's something clearly wrong now with Maria Sakari in slams.
Right, so let's go to your final one then, and we'll wrap it up. Is it Kessler you want to talk about?
No, not Kessler.
Keys?
No, all the way up.
Which one? Keep going. More. Okay, I'll keep
You know
going.
what it is. The big battle. There we go. Stearns.
Stearns,
Peyton
Navarro.
Stearns, Navarro. I said Stearns would win. I was smiling to myself at 5-4 up with her serving for the match. And what happened to us? He just crumbled and Navarro just stole it. But there was nothing separating them. Look, 7-5 with the first time break, 7-5 in the second, and then Navarro wins 7-5 in the third set. Navarro, of course, the favourite. I was confident Stearns was going to win this one, just like I was with Garin. And it didn't happen.
20.
But it was so close. She
What a long match.
almost had her, but just couldn't get it over the line.
But that is a ridiculously long. That's longer than Medvedev's match.
Yeah, I know. It was crazy.
3 hours 22. That really is crazy.
It was a great match as well.
Well done to Navarro getting through it, but that doesn't. I mean, that is going to take a toll on your legs if you just played 3 hours 22. Who's she playing in the next round? Wang Jingwu. I think that's how. Apologies if that's the wrong pronunciation, but it's one of the Wangs. Hopefully, I got the right one.
All right, and we'll wrap it up there. Thank you, everyone, for watching. If you haven't already, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. This was the day of João Fonseca. What a player he is. Let us know your thoughts on British tennis right now. Do you agree with Ben? Do you agree with me? Or do you agree with neither? Let us know your opinion. All debates are valid on Game to Love, so we're interested to hear what you've got to say. And we'll see you tomorrow for more tennis action, some big players in action. And I would say my assessment of the Australian Open so far, it's been very, very interesting. We've seen a lot of big players still progressing through the draw. Not many upsets. We've had Tsitsipas, Rublev, and a few others as well. But on the whole, the big players are going through, which makes for some very exciting viewing.
That's it. See you for day 4.